You know, life used to be pretty exciting back in the village of Skognir, back before they built the new Berserker Longhouse. You could walk right out the front door of your long hall and into the middle of an axe-catching contest, whether you wanted to play or not. And everybody knows that Bjarki, he's the champion axe-catcher of the whole village there, but a lot of people don't know why. You see, Norseman being what Norseman is, Bjarki liked to go a Viking. The only problem was he wouldn't tell his wife Hildy when he was a-going and when he was a-coming back. So he'd walk in through the front door of his long hall, "Hildy, I'm home," and psst, there goes the axe. Now, you know, Berserks aren't known for being all that smart, but he was smart enough to know not to throw it back. He wasn't worried about whether she could catch it or not. He just didn't want to give her anything else to throw at him. So anyway, like I say, you know, things had gotten pretty quiet in the village, so we'd all decided if he wanted to go a Viking. So we all went down and piled into Halfdan's longboat, and we decided we didn't want to go over to England that year. You know, we've been raiding England every year for quite a while now, and they just decided that, you know, maybe we'd give them a break and, you know, let them stock up or something, and maybe they'd be worth raiding in a year or two. So we went east instead. And after a while, we ended up over there in Novgorod, and we was having a pretty good time, too, until the Berserks got bored, and, well, they started teaching some of the locals there how to play axe catching, and we had to leave town pretty quick after that. We did manage to pick up one new crewman, though, called him Ole. Because after he played axe catching with Bjarki, he only got one ear. So anyway, like I say, we left town pretty quick, and we heading on down the river there, and we decided we wanted to go over to Byzantium. Now, the only problem is that the river doesn't go straight down. You got to portage over to another river, and boy, if you ain't never portaged no longboat, let me tell you, that's an adventure on its own. You see, you pull the boat up onto the sand there, and then you cut down some trees to make some logs, and you shove them up under the front of the boat. Then you tie a rope under the front of the boat, and you pull it up onto the logs. Then you're pulling on the rope in the front, while some guys are pushing on the boat in the back, and when the log rolls out the back, you run it around to the front again. So anyway, things are going pretty good. We get the boat up there onto the logs, and we got the rope tied onto the front, and the Berserks are in the back of pushing, and, well, you know, that rope was kind of slick, and so we went to spit in our hands to get a better grip on it, and, well, the Berserks got an extra bat that year. Hey! Lucky for us, we'd already locked up their axes in the sea chest on the boat. So anyway, we did finally make it down to Byzantium, but you know what? Them Byzantines, they just got no sense of humor. I mean, you pillage one village, and you burn one church, and the next thing you know, you got the whole bloody army chasing you around down there. We let them around for a little while, and we was having a pretty good time, but they finally got us cornered. 5,000 of them and 200 of us. Had us up on top of this hill and surrounded on all sides. Got us right where we wanted them. We just turned the Berserks loose and had a little party for a little while. But you know, that Byzantine emperor, he got no more sense of humor than the rest of them does. He pulled everybody back and came out under a white flag. He said, "Boys, you're mighty impressive. How'd you like to come work for me and be my personal bodyguard?" And we said, "You know, that sounds pretty good. What's your offer?" He said, well, you come work for me, and I'll give you all the beer you can drink. I'll give you all the food you can eat. I'll give you gold. I'll give you women. Ooh. We said, well, you know, that sounds pretty good. But what if we don't want to take it? He says, well, I can't afford to lose any more troops to you, so I'm just going to have to pull everybody back, shoot you full of arrows. Oh. We had to stop and think about that for a minute. And then he looked at us and he said, well, boys, what's your answer? Well, we drew up rank upon rank, shield upon shield. We raised our axes, we raised our spears, we looked him right in the eye and said, "Yeah, sure, you betcha."